you are. Fantastic. Good to meet you. How are things?
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. How's everything been coming along?
My study's been coming along, but of course, that's why I'm in your program.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I'd be glad to help you out, of course. So, what's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? How could I best support you?
Uh, I guess it'd be too melodramatic to say the LSAT, but that's too general.
Sure.
My biggest challenge is the is logical reasoning and reading comp. The games I'm getting the hang of. I mean, I started my study like March 1st, and I was aiming for the June, and quickly realized that wasn't going to happen after a few practice tests and some training in it. Self study, of course, all self study. Um, and so I pushed it off to August. But now it seems like I may be pushing it off again. I'm not getting my results. Either it's not coming quick enough or I'm too hasty. Either way, I'm still in the process of learning I'm learning these process.
Sure.
Um,
Understood. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, aside from the fact that you're not getting the scores you want, what other reasons might there be for postponing? Is that or is that pretty much it?
oh no. It's exactly that's exactly it. I'm not trying to shoot for the stars, but I'm trying to shoot to get into law school.
Of course, of course.
so
What does your review process look like?
well, I could tell you, starting in March 1st, I've been studying the three sections every single day up until I want to say Father's Day, which was yesterday. So I studied three sections every day about because I still have a work schedule. So I study between while I'm working because I'm working from home, and then at 5 o'clock I will study from let's say 5 p.m. to like 3 in the morning. Believe it or not, the 3 in the morning, like I'm good at night. I really don't sleep at night, so it's not a bother to me. So this is why I'm able to. I get most of my energy at night. It's sort of crazy, but so I'm really percolated at night. So that's why I run it to late at night. And I've been doing that up until, like I said, maybe yesterday. Yesterday was the first day that I did not do any LSAT. Not one, I didn't even look at a book from March. So I've been really going at it real hard. I do three sections a day because what I've learned is that doing a section one day and coming back to it the following day or maybe 2 days later, it almost as if I forgot it. And so I try not to forget it. So I tend to do the sections, each section a day. Well, when I say each section, I mean all three sections a day, 2 or 3 hours of reading comp, 2 or 3 hours on logic games and LR. So I been putting in a lot of work. Um, your videos are excellent because I've learned a lot since joining, which is just June. The sufficient assumption and necessary assumptions must be true. I've learned that those are, similar in category, and so I've learned a lot through those and been watching. I log on with Ben on Tuesdays and Ariel, also social with reading comp. So yeah, so I've been putting in the work and I'm sort of happy that I found you in the ethos. So yeah, so that has given me a boost.
That's all great to hear. No, I'm really glad that you're showing up consistently. You're watching the videos, you're putting in the work on your end. So I'm glad to hear all that. One
Right.
potential red flag I heard as well, though, is that yesterday was the first day you took off
Yeah.
entirely in several months.
Yes, yes. That's the yesterday is the first day that I took off. I was tempted to pick up a book, and I said no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I resisted, and I did not do it. I think I'm working too hard at it. I I mean I read a lot of stuff on burnout and stuff like that, and even from listening to the podcast, which I'm an avid listener of your podcast. So I'm wary of that, and I'm looking at it. But I'm well aware of the signs, but I'm aware of the signs. But so far, I'm sort of energized. So I that's why I'm able to do it the way I'm doing it, because I've been so energized since March. So I haven't really bothered to take off except for yesterday.
I'm glad you take off though. I'm glad that you're energized. The energy is important, but too much energy can be counterproductive.
Yeah,
We don't want you to just do LSAT 24/7. We want you to get the score increase in the end. And
right,
if that actually requires stepping back a little bit,
right.
that might be all you need.
Yeah, you're right. And that's gonna be put in the test today when I started back up today. Maybe I might be able to look at some questions differently. But the logical reasoning section is it's one tough cookie. It is one tough cookie, and I'm inconsistent in it, and that's my major issue. I could score. I can. I mean, I took 2 practice tests. I don't even really count the one I took in March because I was just started and I was like, fine. Then I took one again in April. And again, my scores are inconsistent. So that tells me that I didn't get it. I mean, I got it, I got it. Like if I see my name on the test, I say, oh, that's my name. I would never forget it. But in the logical reasoning section and in that world, that can't be. I can't keep getting fluctuating score on the same question type. If I get an assumption question right today, I should be able to get an assumption question right tomorrow. Given the 2 styles within the necessary assumption, I still should be able to get it right.
Well, I want to challenge that a little bit actually, because it's not always about the question stem type. Sometimes you get something wrong just because it's difficult, something about the
Right.
stimulus, perhaps, or they were particularly sneaky with the answer choices. And so that's where that review process comes in. And
Right.
the insights you gain from the review process, they take a little bit of time to percolate sometimes. And so that's where taking that step back, taking that day off, letting it sink in, kind of like how when you go to sleep, your brain is processing what happened during the day. If you never went to sleep, you never have the time to process that. And you
Right.
mentioned about like staying up late to study. That's totally fine. I don't care when you study, as long as you also get the rest, you also get the sleep, and you're taking
Right.
frequent breaks. But the
Yeah.
breaks are incredibly important, and breaks plus continuing to deepen the review, that might be all you need, because I sense your dedication, you're putting in the work, and you're showing up.
Right. So yeah. And so perhaps the suggestion may be maybe pulling back a bit. Maybe taking maybe a day or two off.
Yeah, a
Maybe
day
a
or
day.
two off here or there. So maybe
Maybe a day.
you maybe 1 or 2 days a week you do zero, and then some days you do a lot, some days you do a little bit less. And by the way, showing up to class, showing up to the study group, that is LSAT prep time. It may not be you alone with the books or you alone with the questions, but
Right.
you're still spending energy and mental stamina
Yeah.
going through those problems with others. And so
Right.
count that as part of the time and give
Right.
yourself the appropriate breaks as well.
Right. I mean, you have about almost like over 200. I think I got to 100 and something.
No kidding.
So,
Nice.
so that tells you I'm about to run out of your videos before if I don't, maybe like you said, maybe I think I'm probably into it too much. Like I almost like want to learn it like it was yesterday, and learning, understanding the LSAT is not the process. It takes some time to acquire those.
If you work through all videos, I'll be super impressed, and I'll find some more for you, because I'm sure there probably are more than 200 at
Oh
this
no,
point.
I watch them. I get my book to the site and the love hall that is posted, and I do the questions before and pause the video and look at it and see if I get it right, and then look at the errors that I made, and those are exceptionally helpful. I mean, extremely exceptionally helpful. And able to look at the question differently. So yeah, I'm running through them.
Awesome. That's great to hear. That is the goal. I mean, I put them there because I want you to use them. And it sounds like you're using them appropriately as well. You're pausing, you're going through the problem yourself, you're
Right.
coming back. And by the way, if you do finish all the videos, let me know. I'll find some more from the archives to share with you. But that's it. I mean, you're doing everything you need to be doing, except perhaps taking some of those breaks. So that's
Right.
my biggest suggestion for
Okay.
you. That's my biggest suggestion here.
Right. I'm definitely going to do that. Pull back maybe a day or two. You know, just to give my, like you said, give my brain a chance to process it, to undertake it. Maybe I'm not doing that enough. In fact, I know I'm not doing that enough. But yeah. So I'm going to the reading comp. Again, I have the same problem. The reading comp. Sometimes I get 15 right. Sometimes I get 10 right. And I look at the type of questions that I get wrong. I almost know without even, if I look at the question and guess and say, okay, this is probably what I'm going to not do too good on, and usually I'm right at it. The inference questions, of course, surprisingly, I can't figure out for the life of me, but the main point questions I tend to don't get right, and and I started reading with a different view of it. I mean, I was just basically looking for the main idea, thinking, oh, the main idea encompasses maybe 450 or 500 words, but sometimes it just come into a sentence or two in the end or in the middle, or the author may say, but after he says whatever he's critiquing, and that would be, the main idea. And I just figured that out from watching your video. I just figured that out, and then I sort of like correct my reading now on the reading part. So I definitely try to read with some insight. So I'm trying to fix that problem. Logic games. I think I probably did. I don't know how many logic games I do, but I do them. I do a lot of them. I do a lot of them. I mean, I did. Man. uh, I don't know, maybe like 50 so far. Maybe like 50. I mean, I got enough material to run the course all the way through, even the books, the Love Hub, Law Hub. So I have enough to do them with, but I just want to make sure that I, feel comfortable when test time comes, that I've seen enough of the question types where I don't have to wonder, where they're coming from.
That's great. No, yes, I agree. The exposure is a big part of it. So for logic games, yeah, 50 games is great. I would do even more to get a wider variety,
Right.
both with regard to the curveballs and then to help you see the patterns in the more classic game types. With reading comprehension, you're absolutely right. The main idea, they're very tricky about that. The main idea, the main point. It doesn't have to summarize the entire thing.
Right.
It's got to be the major takeaway. And they often articulate that major takeaway in just a sentence. So if you find that sentence that seems to capture why the author wrote that, let that be your prephrase your prediction when you go into the choices. And if nothing looks good, then you work by process of elimination. They're really good at making that right answer seem unappealing.
Right. Yeah. They definitely do. They work hard at that. They've been catching me, but I don't think they're going to catch me with the main idea anymore. And I don't take notes. I started out taking notes and highlighting and doing all that process to try to remember. And I've learned through this process that the quickest way to get this information and synthesize it is just read it and say to myself as I'm reading, oh, what's he talking about? Why is he saying this? What's his evidence? And as I'm being active in that process, I tend to remember more, but I have to immediately go to the question because that's short term. If if another thought come to my mind, those questions are might as well be foreign language to me. So so I run right over to the questions and read it, and I found that that has been helping more than taking notes. Sort of like an active reading process. So that has come come to bear with me. I like that process better. Again, I think I learned that on your channel.
It sounds like you're doing exactly what you've got to be doing. So I would just say keep at it, keep reviewing, keep coming to class, keep watching the videos, and add in those breaks, and you'll be good.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that because uh, you know this LSAT business is I call it an LSAT business because I think I think they're in the business of giving students a run for their money.
They're very clever. They love their tricks.
Yeah. You know, I embellish it. I mean, I enjoy it. I love a good challenge. So, but I just, you know, when I see this information, I just sort of like chuckle sometimes. Like, really? Who's gonna
That's
have
good. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Have fun spotting the tricks. This can be an
right?
enjoyable process if you let it, and it sounds like you
Yeah,
are.
yeah. I'm trying to. I didn't even, you know, set a date for law school. I'm not even really. I'm not even thinking about anything but this LSAT. First hurdle out the way, and then I will worry about everything else, the application process, writing. I'm not even looking at the LSAT writing. I mean, that's like probably 5, 10 minutes. I mean, it cannot be harder than this test. I don't think any process is harder than this test. I don't.
This exam is extremely difficult, and it can give you a run for your money, like you said. But
Yeah.
after this, you knock this out of the way.
Yeah.
Everything else related to admissions is much easier.
Exactly. I'm not, you know, my goal is a 180 on the test, but I say that because there's no reason why I should not shoot for the top. And if I land in the middle, I'm fine. I'm happy. I don't have a strenuous goal to say, oh, if I don't get a 180, and then this test is no good for me. No, but my goal is 180 because I want to challenge every question on the test. But I understand that uh, looking at the test, as much time I has put in this test, I know for a fact that this test has not been created for you to complete the entire test. I know that. From the questions they ask to the timing, I know it's not designed for the average person to complete that test. That I know. That is sunk into my heart. Uh, but with that in mind, that's what I'm still shooting for, to complete the entire test and score an 80. And then I will see where it lands when I go through that process. So I train for the marathon. You know, I may not make it 4.5 hours later. I'm going to cross that finish line. So that's my preparation for the LSAT. I'm in it for the long haul, and I'm just having fun doing it. That's the only way I can look at this. This is like a football game. I'm out there just to, you know, catch the quarterback and sack him. If I don't get him, okay, fine.
This is exactly the right mindset. I love to hear this. Yeah, you aim for the 180. You always aim for the 180. Even if you fall short, it pushes you to do more. It pushes you higher in the end.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely my mindset. So yeah, so that's the games, that's the reading calm and logical reasoning. The fact that they made it a flex and really I couldn't care if they made one test, two tests, three tests, four tests. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 5 tests, 6 tests, the concepts are the same. They test the same skill set. Um, if it's one reading comp, if I know the skill set, you give me 10 reading comp, I should know the same skill set. Questions would be harder, but still I still should know it. So that's what I was aiming for originally. I was aiming for June. I said, oh, there's only 3 tests. Perfect. Oh, yes. You know, but I realized that what? I mean, I can take 3 tests and get all 0. You know, I can get them all wrong, or I can take the 4 tests with the experimental and get them all right. I mean, it's not gonna cost me too much the way that
It doesn't matter. It's this.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's the same material. So You'll get this. You'll be good. I apologize. I've got to sign off. I have another call.
Okay.
But it was great connecting with you, and I really enjoyed the chance to meet. Keep at it. Keep showing up to class. Keep putting in the work, and reach out if you need anything at all. I'm happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Have
Bye.
a good one.
Okay,
Bye,
you
Tony.
too.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.